Stop wasting rice! Guys, seriously, stop wasting rice. There are people starving around the world. But that's okay, I dropped my $600 phone in the toilet. And I'm going to put it in some rice. Total first world problems. Today we're actually going to talk about why you should not put your cell phone in rice if you drop it in the toilet, a river, a lake, water, pool, whatever the case may be. We're also going to talk about where this myth originates from. And I'm also going to show you scientifically how this does not work. Some of you may have heard from friends, family, relatives that putting it in rice can save your electronics, but this is a myth, this is an urban legend. However, it did originate from an idea that actually has some validity. Back in the mid-1940s and through the 50s and 60s, photographers would actually use rice to pack around their camera equipment and film. Now, the reason for this is when filming in tropical environments, it provided a protective barrier from all the moisture in the area in which they were filming. Now, this worked because if you put your camera equipment in a paper bag or a plastic bag and then pack it around in rice, all the moisture from outside has a very difficult time getting into the equipment. It also worked kind of like packing peanuts. If it's on a plane or a truck and it's moving around a lot, the rice actually kept it pretty stable so it wouldn't actually move around. And it also can battle condensation as well. Now, if we fast forward to the mid-90s, early 2000s, there were many reports of people using rice for Nokia phones, Blackberries, etc. And these success stories were actually reported in newspapers, TV, radio, etc. And then it just spread like wildfire. The media and news got something wrong. Never! Now, the reason this actually does work for some people is simply time. The time you're leaving your phone alone. You're actually giving it time for the water to drain out and evaporate from the device. So the best actual method is to pull the battery and the back plate if you can and leave it alone. Now, if you want to put it on a towel or a paper towel, that's fine. It's not going to help it, but it will keep all the water from getting on the rug, table, or whatever you're putting it on to dry. Now, I've read a lot about people leaving it alone for 48 hours. Personally, I say 72 hours, reason being, there's a lot of crevices in these little itty-bitty devices. You want to make sure you give it enough time for all the water to get out or evaporate off the device. Personally, I hear this about once a week, everybody putting electronics in rice. I've actually heard of people taking entire laptops and putting them in huge Tupperwares with big boxes of rice. Look at how much rice you're wasting using an entire box just for a laptop. And it's a laptop. It's not going to do anything for it. Can putting it in rice hurt? Yes, it actually can hurt your device because there's these little itty-bitty dust particles. Me just having this box on the table, there's a little bit of rice dust that's coming from the corner of the box. This dust can actually get into your device. It can mess up your ports, whether it's the audio jack, the charging port. It can actually get on the board itself. Phones overheat, so why do you want to cook rice inside your phone? That's ridiculous. So we have some water and some rice here. I'm actually going to just go ahead and put some water here. Okay, that's a good glob. So let's say this is inside your phone. Now there's a plastic barrier between your phone and the water. So we're going to just put we're going to put maybe half an inch between, well, let's put a couple, let's even just say a couple millimeters. And I don't know if you can tell, but the rice is not drawing out the water. It's not magnetized to the rice. And the rice is not magnetized to the water. Now, if it's touching the water, yes, it'll absorb the water. But you have back plates and plastics and all these things in between the rice and the device. So, just to prove the point a little further, I'm going to put this back plate down, like so. And let's put rice on it. Okay, so according to the method, me putting rice around the phone is going to suck out all the water and save the phone, right? How many of you think that the water is going to be underneath there still? Even if I leave it for a half an hour, that water is still exactly the same. Now, why does this work? If I come back in 72 hours, that water will be evaporated. I hope you guys found this video informative. I just want to make sure, one, that you're not wasting food, two, that you're not actually hurting your device any further. Until next time, have a great one. No rice was wasted in this video. I love this hat. Is it okay to use the word validity? Okay, just making sure I used it correctly.